This is part of the North Frieze on the Scythian treasury at Delphi, and it's part of a long frieze showing the gigantomachy between the giants and the gods when the giants attack Olympus because they want to take over from the Olympian gods. So you have the giants here who are dressed as hoplites. They have their shields, they have helmets. They are overly large humans, the same size as the gods because they are shown as bigger than humans in Greek art. Here you have the lion drawing the chariot of Themis, the goddess of law and order, and he is also taking part in the battle and taking down one of these giants here.
So you don't really see the giants' faces at all, you just see their bodies?
You don't, they've got their helmets covering their faces, so you just see their bodies, which are, as you can see kind of on this one and this one, and the one who is slain and has no armour on, their bodies are quite exposed.
Yeah, you can see quite a lot, can't you?
Yes.
And so then what happens when we move into classical art?
When you move into kind of the 6th century, 5th century BC, the giants start being portrayed as barbarians instead of soldiers. They lose their hoplite armour, they lose any kind of clothing, they become naked. They have animal skin cloaks as well, and they carry boulders for weapons. So they become much more wild and primitive. And this is to do with the fact that barbarians themselves were viewed as sort of monstrous and other to the Greeks.
And I see a reference to the Persian wars here.
Yes, that's right. The gigantomachy appears on the Parthenon metope, so it's aligned with other kind of traditional Greek versus barbarian or other schemes like the Amazons
And the centaurs that you've got at the British Museum as well, yeah?
That's right.
Okay, so your next object is that a South
It is, yes, it's an Apulian vase that we've got here, and this one kind of takes the moral thing a little bit further. You've got your barbarian giants at the front, clearly masculine, clearly exposed, and they are set below the gods, so it kind of reflects the moral interpretation of the myth as well. And what happens later on is they change from being very hairy, naked barbarians to becoming, they gain snake legs, like Typhonius in myth, who fights Zeus. He's a snaky-legged giant, so there's the impiety connection with the body form there. So it's kind of an increasing monstrosity to do with their impious behaviour. So you get snake legs and wings on the Pergamon altar, and then this one here who also has a lion's head, so he is animalised even further.
And you mentioned Ovid and Horace, so it's learning such in literature as well,
It is, yes. The Latin literature kind of conflates giants into what Dunstan Lowe describes as anti-Olympian beings. They take the snake legs, they have the hoplite armour, and kind of barbarian weapons and things, and it all comes together when they fight the gods. So it's all conflated. And that's kind of what you get in imperial art as well. Later on, you have snaky-legged giants. These ones
What is this? Is that an altar base?
It's a sarcophagus. Yes.
So why would somebody choose to have this theme on their
On the
coffin?
sarcophagus. It's quite an interesting question, really. They chose mythological themes as well as those that related to death. And it may just simply be because of the kind of chthonic aspects, perhaps, of the giants with their snake legs.
So meaning their association with the underworld and other worlds. Yeah.
Yes, and then I've kind of leapt on into the Renaissance here to show the reception of the myth and how the kind of political and social moral uses are similar in the Renaissance, perhaps even more explicit as well. So you get things like French emblem books, which portray the giants with their snaky legs and actually kind of give a reason for the snake legs. And Ao says that giants despise God and that they have snake legs because their senses crawl on the earth. They are lazy for higher things.
So maybe sort of a link to the book of Genesis.
A little bit, yes, and just kind of a link into the impiety of their behaviour that kind of gains them that form in the classical side of things. The giants were used in other allegorical ways as well. You've got this kind of scheme here.
Is that a ceiling then?
Yes, this is a fresco on a ceiling, and it follows the kind of traditional scheme of the the Archangel Michael expelling rebel angels from heaven. So you have Jupiter in his place, and then the giants taking the place of the rebel angels, and they're here described as vices. There's political use goes on in the Renaissance as well. The giants were talked about by Ovid and Horace as the enemies of justice.
Yeah.
So you've got a time of civil war and order.
And that's making Augustus the kind of conquering hero.
Exactly. Making him a god. So the giants here, you can see some of them have got the kind of Turkish turbans. This was painted kind of after Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, has fought his Turkish enemies.
So now he's Jupiter.
Now he is Jupiter.
Then you've got the whole religion problem as well.
You do.
Assimilating yourself to a pagan deity.
Yes. Slightly problematic, but something that they liked to do.
They did, didn't they? That's really interesting. So your conclusion is, general conclusion for all of this is about how the giants' bodies change to reflect how their behaviour is seen. And is your project going to take you further than the Renaissance?
No further than the Renaissance. My PhD just kind of spans from about the 8th century BC through to about 1650.
That's long enough, isn't it?
Quite long enough, looking at lots of different male monsters and monstrosities.
Oh, brilliant. Good luck with that.